ready to rock.
Don't go rustling your clothes. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Rob. I don't know if I'm in frame. I'll slouch down a bit. I'm good.
You sounded breathless there for.
Rob, I am breathless. I've just sat down. I've had COVID, you know.
You had it, yeah.
And I'm drinking tea, which is nice. Still going dry.
I'm drinking grapefruit juice.
Well, I'm drinking San Pellegrino, fizzy water.
Fancy water.
It is fancy water, £6 for...
Did you get a raise?
No, fuck. Pardon me, French. No, I didn't get a... Did I get a raise? No. No. I've just stopped feeding the kids so I can move out of Christmas with some grace.
A nice bottle of San Pellegrino.
We bought six bottles for £5.
6 bottles?
For £5's okay, isn't it? No, it's not really.
Yeah. Have you had the blood orange one?
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh.
This isn't...
And there's a...
Lemon.
A mint one.
And there's...
is it lemon mint?
Yeah, and there's grapefruit. Pink grapefruit, I think.
Oh, there's a lemon mint one that's so good. Oh my gosh.
You're sounding quite sexy tonight, Rob.
Olivia said I was sexy.
Olivia hasn't got the fucking eyes she was born with. No harm to her.
She said that today.
She, honestly, she is obviously...
She grabbed my ass.
She's having an aneurysm. I'd take her to the hospital.
She grabbed my ass.
You haven't got an ass.
Twice.
You haven't got it. Well, you could even grab it once. You wouldn't even be able to find it.
We were walking the dogs in the field and she slinked up beside me.
Slinked up. You are one sleazy Californian weed-bound hog. That's what you are.
Chris.
Yeah.
Last week we did what photography meant to you.
Yes.
In 2021.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
I'm not only am I braced for it, but I'm sitting down and waiting comfortably for the whole thing.
And feel free to interject because I know you will.
Do you know what? I might just silently nod off and let you, and then wake up. Of course, that's not the case. I will absolutely listen.
Well, I think to know what photography means to you, I think you need to know why you got into photography in the first place.
Yeah.
And you know, when I got into photography, obviously it was a hobby that grew very quickly. It went from shooting a 127 camera to a 35 millimeter camera to a better 35 millimeter camera to processing my own film, own black and white, and printing my own black and white at school, to going onto the yearbook staff and becoming the photographer for the school.
You're so Yankee. Canary Yankee.
But, you know, it was really, back then, was, I don't know, what's more than a hobby, but less than an occupation?
Fetish. A fetish is exactly where you're at.
You know, the camera used to go with me everywhere. You know, I'd have a backpack and I'd go dirt biking with the camera. I'd go snowmobiling with the camera.
There's Robbie the Lens. Come and look at Robbie the Lens. Robbie the Lens is on his bike with his strange back again. Robbie the Lens. Look, there's Robbie the Lens sneaking up.
But, you know, back then it was growing on me. It was growing on me really quickly.
That sounds naughty.
And it was probably... What's that?
Sounds naughty. You're so sexy without knowing you're sexy. It's brilliant. I love it.
And I was probably, what did I do? I did 2 years or 3 years of drafting. And I realized that...
What's drafting?
I wanted, it's...
like drawing up documents?
Like basic architecture kind of thing, like doing houses and as a draftsman.
That's why you're sending me stuff to build my own shed. You're harking back to your old drafty roots. Good for you, Rob. That's nice to know.
So, you know, grade 9, grade 10, getting into grade 11, I really wanted to become an architect. But then I realized that an architect sits at a desk all day and does drawings. And I thought, screw that. I'm going to follow my hobby.
Fetish.
Yeah. And take photography. So I got deeper and deeper into photography.
So sexy.
and figured out by grade 12 that photography was going to be my career.
That early?
Yeah. Because as soon as I left grade 13, I had already applied to 3 photography colleges.
See, where
and
were you?
universities.
Where were you? You were in Saskatchewan or something, were you?
Canada,
I know, but is that
Ontario.
Ontario?
So I applied to Humber, Ryerson, and Sheridan. Ryerson sent me a letter back stating that I was accepted.
Mm-hmm.
It was this strange form with all these check boxes and stuff, and it said, at the bottom, we accept Rob Durston into the 5 or 4-year Ryerson program for applied arts or whatever it was degree. It's a degree course. And I thought, oh, that's great. Okay. So I got that in whatever, June or May, whenever you get them. And I waited 2 months and I didn't hear anything back from them. So I guess it was probably around late July, early August. I called them up and they said, oh, no. That's not an acceptance letter. That's one of our worksheets that we use when we look at your portfolio.
What?
Yeah. So, you've been we looked at your portfolio and your portfolio was strong enough to come into our school, but we didn't accept you. You were accidentally sent that letter.
That's mean.
Yeah. So in the meantime, back 2 months earlier when I thought I was accepted, I canceled with Humber, who I got accepted to, and I canceled with Sheridan, who I got accepted to.
This is not a good story, Rob.
Well, what ended up happening was, I was pretty furious and pretty emotional about everything. So I called up Sheridan because Humber was more of a, they almost called it, sort of a wedding photographer school.
Yeah.
Sheridan was more of a commercial school. And then Ryerson was the bell pepper school.
What's bell pepper?
You go there for fine art and you shoot bell peppers.
What's that mean? Is that like you line them up in a...
Edward Weston's sort of an Edward Weston school. It's all fine art.
Rob, I thought you meant setting up bell peppers on a white picket fence and shooting them with a shotgun.
No.
Jesus, it's called shooting. Of course I know what you mean.
So anyways, I called up Sheridan, who was my real, second choice for commercial work, and I called him up and I talked to the woman who was on reception for the photography department. I said, explain the whole thing, and I said, listen, is there any way that I can, get my spot back? And she said, no, we have 72 people on the waiting list.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I've lost a year. I was all freaking out and everything. And she goes, let me see what I can do. And then she called me back an hour later and she goes, you're in.
No. You know what she had done?
And she goes, you need to be here in 2 weeks.
She went and checked out your photograph, buddy. She knew you were hot. She looked at you and she thought you're one half a Starsky and Hutch, and she's going to jump in the van with you and ride into the sunset.
They didn't have the van. That was Scooby.
But you did send in a photograph, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I sent in my portfolio.
Yeah.
I wasn't in my portfolio.
But they thought they knew. They probably Googled you.
So then photography became, a learning experience to me. And it was there, there's excellent instructors when we went there. Excellent instructors. Like old school photography instructors, tungsten lights.
Lovely.
Learning how to shoot with hot lights first before you ever touch a strobe.
Lovely.
Yeah. We had Larry Frank, who was the Nikon guy, did 35 millimeter fundamentals, and we had Roger Jowett for architectural. Doug.
Don't forget Doug's surname. Doug will be furious.
Doug passed away.
That's okay.
They've all passed away.
Okay, well then you can forget.
I think Larry Frank is still alive.
What?
Anne Louise Pearl taught us alternative processes and
What do you
art
mean?
history.
Alternative processes.
Like gum bichromate,
That's it.
wet plate. dry plate.
Thought you were
All that
going down the Grayson Perry route there. Didn't know where that was going.
And Louise Pearl.
Louise Pearl. Did you say
That's one woman.
Did you say you were taught by Robert Frank?
Larry Frank,
Larry Frank.
his cousin.
His lesser known cousin.
They used to call him Mr. Nikon.
Did they?
Yeah, that's
They
his nickname.
they called you Robbie the Lens. Fuck's sake. He's all at nicknames.
They didn't call him.
Robbie the Lens. It's like something from
And Stan White. Stan White taught us studio. And
Oh.
He was an old British guy who shot everything, 8x10, 11x14, studio cameras and stuff, and all with hot lights. It was great. It was great stuff. Like,
You're back
really-
there now, aren't you? You're back there now.
Oh, it was beautiful, dude. Like the learning curve it was a 2-year course. It was 3 years shoved into 2 years, and even that.
And this is where you get your technical ingenuity from, isn't it?
I got some of it there, a lot of it there, and then I got a lot of it my first couple of years working with another guy in retail. His name was Mike Boland. He was very, 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 very technical. Like, we used to laugh. You could just hold up anything in front of him, like a little tiny screw, and
He would tell you.
He would tell you what it's from. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's from a 1972 Linhof Technica.
I worked with a guy like that, and I thought he was incredible until he brought in his portfolio.
Oh.
And then I realised very quickly that he was better talking about it than taking it.
Yeah, that can happen.
It's a sad.
Mike's a really good guy. He
Still alive?
yeah. He ended up becoming the Pro Photo distributor for Canada.
Oh.
Quite a few years.
Now this makes sense, Rob. This makes sense. This makes sense. This makes sense because you love Pro Photo. And so do I.
Sheridan had Pro Photo. My college had Pro Photo. They had the first Pro 3 pass. So I grew into Pro Photo. And then, we were a Pro Photo dealer and distributor, and then I knew the North American distributor, Peter Bradshaw.
You are just so lucky.
But, good relationships to have, and it meant a lot to me, like those guys, for sure.
You're reminiscing.
Yeah, and that was, leading into the 90s. And the 90s for me, photography meant creativity and lifestyle. It was an amazing time to be creative. Pro Photo was coming out with all sorts of lights. There was we were getting into HMIs.
What's an HMI?
Big movie lights. HMIs, ones daylight
20K,
balanced.
20K.
Well, it could be. You have tungsten, you have HMI, and you have LED, and you have.
Fire up that 10K,
plasmas.
George.
Yeah. If it's daylight balanced, it's more than likely an HMI. If they're firing it up and it's 3200, then it's tungsten balanced.
Next time I go on a set, I'm going to walk past one of the Sparks and say, "Nice HDMI there. I love your HDMIs."
HMIs.
But they would have HDMI.
Not HDMI. HDMI is video.
but yeah, I know. But they would also maybe have cables. They would maybe be an all-round conversation. The video guys would like me as well. They'd be like, "Oh, Chris knows what he's talking about."
Chris has got his letters all crumpled up.
Chris is. Thank dog for Chris. Yeah, I know.
But the 90s, turned into a
The 2000s. Oh, sorry.
It became, a full lifestyle thing. My life rotated around photography. I was assisting, I was producing, I was shooting, traveling around the world. What's that?
Fuck off.
Having fun time. It was amazing. It was amazing.
I hate you, and here you are now, Rob.
And here I am now,
No, don't. I'm not being sarcastic.
sitting in a cabin on the edge of a field.
And
With
clinging
15 dogs.
to a rock on the edge of Europe. Talking to me, things have gone downhill. Rob, actually, it's one uphill. If you think on it, you
Huh?
could still be in LA. Nobody wants that sort of sunshine. Nobody wants that sort of lifestyle.
In LA, not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Especially not in the past couple of days.
So, Rob, tell me this: influences, and I don't mean about your guy that sold Pro Photo, and you were probably getting those pretty cheap, if not free, at one point. I would imagine.
You don't get anything free, dude. You get nothing free. Nothing free.
You say that. You get my love for free, Rob. My love for you is as free as. I think I maybe. You know what I did there? I drilled. Can you take drill out of the? If you a drill button, I drilled and I stuck my tummy out.
My influences.
Yeah, who fizzed your willy whenever you were young?
What, as far as photography went?
Yeah.
Well, first off and foremost, I think it would be all the photographers that I worked with. I did mostly fashion photography when I got out of school. So it would have been people like Don Miller, Dmitry Mavrikas, Mark Mengi, Dean Mayer. Guys who, they ranged from editorial work to catalog to high-end boutique-y stuff.
This is why you can pronounce names, because you've been
Chris
surrounded by. I
Chapman.
thought I was going to say Chris Barr. I was ready to take
Chris
a bow.
Chapman.
I went.
Chris Chapman.
I went to stand up for the Oscar far too soon. Damn you, Rob.
But I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot of business stuff from them. Quite a bit of practical lighting. Whatever they teach you in school, it's never
What
the
school?
practical part of it.
The University of Ulster school.
Or even Sheridan. We had, you would sign out this little kit that you would have to do your exercises on. All these, it's a cone, like a pyramid cone, a sphere, and a cube. And you'd have to create these ratios, these lighting ratios.
Shut up. What's that mean?
On 4x5 black and white. So you'd
What do you
bring,
mean? What
well,
do you mean?
So
Shoot them from different angles. What are you talking about?
So this side of my fist is three stops brighter than this side of my fist in the shadow. You need to create that. So you need to do that with a light meter. So you make sure that this side is 3 stops brighter than this side. You shoot it on 4x5 film. You process it. You get that negative. You bring it into the densitometry room, and you have this little meter, this densitometer, that you bring down on the negative, and it checks this side of the film, and this side of the film needs to be 0.9 higher than this side of the film.
Rob, I'm going to
That's-
tell you this right now. You didn't go to university. You took mushrooms. You took mushrooms in Ballysillan in 1983. None of that's real. Because that's the gulag in Russia, that they used to get children to do that for the spies. That's
And
not
then you have to
universe.
print it. Okay, so so if you were able to process it properly and you got that 3-to-1 ratio properly on your negative, then you had to print it and get that, make sure you still had that 3-to-1 ratio.
That's
And you
good
did it-
training.
Yeah, you do it 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio, 4-to-1 ratio. You do all these different things, and it was excellent. So that sort of practical lighting, that sort of institutional educational lighting, along with the practical lighting that I learned from all these fashion photographers, it really, advances you quickly.
Jesus, no shit Sherlock there.
Yeah, it was great.
At that point, I was still using a torch and an angle poised lamp. Just give me three bus stops. That's what I was looking at. 3 bus stops, not 3 full stops. See, you're educated, Rob. This is the difference. This is why you and I get on. You're the yin to my pong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know your onions.
So
You know what I
from
mean?
there, after assisting and then producing, and then I dove, head first into shooting. Like I was still shooting a little bit here and there while I was assisting, but there comes that point where you just leave assisting behind. And
Say goodbye.
yeah, I did a few annual reports while I was in Toronto.
If you what?
Annual reports.
Right, sorry, I thought you did something else.
Annual.
Jesus, you need to pronounce. You need to pronounce that right. That will get you into serious
That's
trouble
my
if you go in.
enunciation.
If you
Annual.
try, imagine you went in and asked for a Guinness Book of Records anal, you'd be in serious trouble.
So I did a few of those, did some architectural work, and then I just was full bore shooting all the time.
But who at that point, Rob, was really, you opened the book and you were like, oh my gosh, that work
That would have been
is...
Dmitri.
Did I know Dimitri's work?
Dmitri Mavrikas, he...
I can't even type that in, I don't know how to spell it.
Dimitri.
I know how to spell Dimitri.
Mavrikis.
He's so smart. You obviously went to spelling bees as well.
I did all his banking.
Really? What do you mean? Oh, really? Is he still alive?
No, he passed away.
Dimitri who? Spell it.
Dimitri.
Oh, I've gone wrong. Hold on, I went wrong right at the very beginning. Right. D-I, yeah, Dimitri.
Mitri. And then new word, Mavrikis.
M-A-V. You have to go slower, Rob. You remember I'm not so bright. M-A-V, yeah.
K-I.
Yeah.
R-I-S.
That's some name anyway.
Mavrikas? Hold on.
You've made that up.
Mav. No, I think you made me repeat it so many times. I got my numbers jumbled up.
Mavrikas. Mavrikas Photography.
Mavrikis. Yeah.
Are you reading this or something?
Mavrikis.
M-A-V-R-I.
Yeah. K-I.
R-I-S.
No, K-I-S.
You see, whenever people ring me up and try and take a hand out of me, like my internet's not working, they're trying to take money off me. This is exactly how I am with them. I get them to spell things loads of times until they hang up. It says here, nothing. Imagine that. Oh no. He's on Facebook.
There's a Facebook group for him, yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Because
So
it was
he
so
passed
good.
away. Yeah, he passed away in 2003 or 4, I think it was.
Was he Canadian?
Yeah. Canadian Greek.
It's funny because I just opened up a pizza. Oh no, it would be Italian. I just opened up a pizza place. It's called Dimitri Mav. It's two brothers in Vancouver of a pizza place.
No, that's not it.
Isn't that? Right, we best.
So, anyways,
not,
he would have been the biggest influence on me.
Yeah.
For sure. He's a good friend. He could be a hard ass. He could be an asshole.
Can't we all, Rob?
Oh, definitely.
That's the truth.
I didn't get to go to his funeral, which was not great.
Why?
Because I was stuck in immigration limbo at that time. But
What are you talking about? You can't allude to immigration limbo, leave or.
well, I was waiting for my green card. I wasn't supposed to leave the country until I got it. So
in the States.
yeah,
And where did he pass in Canada?
yeah, he passed away in Toronto.
Were you sad?
He
You were
was,
sad.
yeah. He was born in '59, so he was what, 53 years old.
Jeez, it was young. What happened to him?
Cancer.
No.
He beat it. He beat the cancer. He went vegan, went plant-based, beat the cancer, and then he started eating steak.
And it came back.
Had the odd cigarette, and it came back full force.
Well, we better stay away from that subject.
Yeah. So yeah, he would have been the biggest influence, and that led me right into the 2000s, and shooting my brains out all the time, just all the time.
You can't say that. You can't say that in Northern Ireland.
Shooting.
Your brains out.
Yeah, shooting. I was very busy.
That's a better way of phrasing it. See, if I wasn't here, Rob, you'd land yourself into all sorts of trouble with your annuals and your shooting all over the place. You'd be in desperate ways. Do you know what I'm thinking? I didn't check to see if my camera is thankfully, Jesus, it's still recording.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes left.
Have we? Well, I want to probe deeper. I want to probe deeper into you, and I want to ask you questions like,
okay, go ahead.
Were you looking at things like Larry Clark? Were you looking at things like Helmut Newton? Was there Cindy Sherman?
For sure, there would have been definitely Demarchier, La Chapelle, Helmut Newton, and Cindy Sherman for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as on the true artsy end of things,
no.
I would have gone more for the abstractionists, for painting and stuff. I like fine art photography, but it needs to speak to me. I always have that motto. If I could hang it on the wall, would I hang it on the wall? If I could hang it on the wall and look at it every day, then I consider that art.
I'm going to bring you for one of my big horse prints. You can put that on the wall. Speak to you.
Probably could.
Speak to you. The horse's arse is definitely. So here you were what age? 49 in 2000, roughly. You were shooting your brains out. And you were out by yourself. You were now hiring assistants. You were taking assistants on.
Oh, I was hiring assistants in the 90s.
In the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
I've never hired an assistant. Oh, have I?
I was running crews. I was producing in the 90s.
You can't start taking us into whenever you were on a boat. I didn't know you did cruises. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Cruise. Teams. Whole
Teams. A teamster. Yeah. Were you?
Anyways, so 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Go. You have something more to say.
Well, I just, what photography means to me now in 2020 and 2021 is it's a living. It's a career. I'm not in this for the short haul. I'm in this for the long haul, and I have something to say to all those, young photographers or middle of the road photographers or even high-end photographers. You need to look at your business. You absolutely need to look at your business after this whole COVID thing. This is a perfect time for everybody to tell their clients that they're going to be raising their prices.
Brilliant point.
Everybody has been leaving money. Well, not everybody, but many photographers leave money on the table, and they don't understand how much they leave on the table until years later. There is agencies, clients have budgets. Ask them what the budget is. Ask them flat out what the budget is. And tailor your production around their budget. Don't just give them stuff, that you think is a flat rate. This is what I can do in a day, or this is what I can do in 2 days. No, they have a budget. What can you shoot with that budget?
I need 5 extra shots.
Oh, we got to go, Chris.
Why? What's happened?
We're done.
Oh, don't say that.
We'll see ya.
No, I want to talk more about.
Do you want to continue this? We'll start this.
If you start this.
Okay, we're going to start this. Hi, Chris. Okay, sorry about that little pause there. Chris?
Yeah?
Did you have a question for me?
Yes, I did, Rob.
So I was telling all the photographers out there that after COVID is a perfect time to start raising your rates.
Yeah.
Whether you raise them £50, $50, $100, £100.
Stop being so
10%.
Stop being so continental. Listen.
Just do it. Just do it every January. Just do it. Do it. It's so that they expect it.
You live.
So that they expect it.
You live in Northern Ireland, okay? We're no longer part of Europe. Forget the fancy chat, okay? We're back to 1954, Okay.
There's a lot of Americans who listen to us, a lot of Canadians.
Oh, is there?
Just trying to be international.
Is there actually? Is there actually? Should I be talking in pounds, shilling, and pence? Should I be talking? Is it centimeters or inches?
don't. It's inches in the United States, it's centimeters in Canada.
Shut up.
It is.
What are we here?
Who knows? You guys use like metric and imperial here.
So different.
Goofballs.
You see, honestly, see if you're going to buy a sink. Well, the trouble we had, you can't do your dishes in a sink this size. It's little pots. It's impossible. So, Rob, joking aside, that was your elevator pitch. You're in it for the long haul. You grew up. I'm gonna summarize this. You grew up with a love.
What photography means to me? What photography means to me is it is a career. It's a career. It's a lifestyle. It's what I live and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in it, then get out of it. Don't be in it. Go find something else to do.
Get the out of my.
Like this. It's a serious occupation, and if all you're doing is, if you're a content creator and you're trying to like pull down agencies and big clients as a content creator, you're only ever doing 70% of the work or 60% of the work or 80% of the work. You're just getting enough, so that people view it for more than 5 seconds.
I know.
Or 3 seconds. Whereas true commercial and advertising photographers, you've got images that need to convey a narrative, a story.
Yeah.
Clients hire you for a purpose.
Yeah.
You need to light a bottle properly, not just throw a light on it. There are, not rules, but there are sort of, styles to lighting things.
Yeah.
And if all you're doing is throwing lights on stuff and, putting it up on Instagram and getting money for it,
It's not good.
well, yeah, it brings the whole market down.
I feel nervous now about going to do any work.
Don't feel nervous. You're a great portrait photographer.
Great. I'm glad you said that, Rob. I'm glad you
You
said
are.
that.
You're a great portrait photographer.
I'm
And you're a
a-
great fine art photographer.
Great fine art photographer. Somebody, you know what? 2 people said that to me today, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to absolutely and utterly believe how I've conned people into thinking such incredible nonsense.
No, dude. No, absolutely.
But Rob,
if you're a photographer and you've never taken a business course or a business class, take one. Go to your local college, whatever. Take a night course, take an online course. Just understand what you're doing. Understand what your overhead is. Understand how much money you need to make every month.
Rob,
And understand why you're working 28 days a month just to, put food on the table. You shouldn't be working 28 days a month to put food on the table.
don't say that to me, because I'm working 20 days a month. After working 4 days a month, I'm working 20 days a month.
Anyhow, that's what photography means to me. It's a career, it's a lifestyle, it's a choice.
That could be our new branding tag. T-shirts.
Sure.
It's a career.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's a choice. And then
I
underneath
got
it,
lots of lifestyle
underneath
stories.
it, we could write annually. Or annual will be in the back, at the bottom, actually. Rob, you know what I think I've done tonight?
What's that?
I think I've cheered you up.
I didn't know I needed cheering.
No,
But thanks.
I don't think you did, but I'm just saying that I think I have done that generally. I think I've done that. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because we're friends, Rob. You and I. Yeah. Photography has brought you and I. If you think on it, think on this. Think of photography in a different sense.
Remember how we met?
Yes, I do. I was a
that?
model in one of your shoots. Do you remember you cast me as a
No.
butcher, you evil shit?
No.
That was it.
No.
Was it before that?
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Love.
Darcy.
Well, I knew it was Darcy. I didn't want to talk about Darcy in front of Leah. Leah knows how much I love Darcy. Still love her, not loved. Love Darcy. No, I do. Darcy, you were doing stuff for AV Brown for the NITB. And they,
Darcy said, "You should meet my friend."
you should meet my friend Chris. He likes
And we met at the Mac.
he likes guys with long hair. We met at the Mac. I think I have the photograph from that. Do I not? You covering your hand like this here.
Not the first meeting, but I think maybe the second.
And then what? So thinking this, whenever you get that crazy letter from those fools that rejected you, fools, that set us on a collision course. Thinking that
Wow, that's crazy.
that disappointment, had you known with the time machine, set us on a collision course that we have Darcy Graham to thank.
Thank you, Darcy.
Sorry. I've started a talk on the feminist photography of a cultural sniper. You don't want to hear that, Rob.
No. Well, Chris.
So, Rob, hold on. Before we go, what's next? What do we do? Are we back to ridiculing and poking fun and pronouncing names badly next week?
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, do you know what I have to do?
2021. Stop for a second, Chris. Think about this. I thought about this today.
Yeah.
Doesn't 2021 sound like the future?
It does, actually, 2021.
Isn't this like 1985 right now? And 2021 is way off in the future.
Do you have a watch or a phone that can be a torch?
Yeah.
Do you have one of those? Do you know what a phone can? You know what a phone can never be? A knife. People keep going on about how it's all these things. It's not a knife, Rob. And if it's not a knife, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Whenever they make one of these,
I have a knife.
I know you
knife right here.
Do you? I probably have a bigger knife, but it's beside me. I keep it beside my bed because I'm working class and I'm scared of people coming in and robbing me. I also have
a knife on me.
I have a hammer. I have 2 fake guns. I have a golf club. And,
don't tell everybody.
And the shillelagh. There ain't nobody taking my pants down in the middle of the night.
Oh God.
Oh, all
right.
No, hold on. I have something to say.
Okay.
Tracy Wright.
Yes.
Tracy sent me a lovely thing last week. She always sends me a funny thing about you, about how you never say you love me. And there's people out there dying for you to say you love me, dying for you. But what she has said, she has a new podcast, and it's Tracy Wright.
Oh, cool.
TracyWright.blog. Worth going and looking at for sure.
Is it on Apple or?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it only on hers?
TracyWright.blog. How do you find?
That would be her website.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's got a beautiful photograph of her better half. This it's on Instagram. If you go and look at it, beautifully lit. In fact, 3 stops.
Good ratio.
Beautiful ratio. There you go.
Dieter Schempel.
Who's
He
Dieter?
used to teach our darkroom and densitometry class.
He sounds sexy, doesn't he? Tell me his name.
Dieter Schempel.
Ooh.
Dieter Schempel.
Oh, I could date him, couldn't I? He'd be nice.
He passed away too.
I had no idea about his dad. Do you know why, Rob?
He could pull. You could show him a color print, and he would tell you the exact filtration that you need to dial into that head to get it color correct. Every single time. He was such a great color printer. Jeez. Amazing. Dieter Schempel.
Stop being sexy. You can't say dead men's names and sound sexy. That's a fetish. Here, Rob, there's people that pay us money. Do you know there's people out there who'll buy your socks for money?
Chris, there's people out there who will buy any garment you have for money.
If they are watching, if you send it to my P.O. box, I will gladly send it to you.
We'll talk about it off air.
Will we?
I'll tell you about it, yeah.
Oh, God, I could tell you some stories, Rob.
All right. We'll see you next week, Chris.
Buddy,
with a regular weekly dose.
The regular weekly dose.
All right.
Be careful. Be careful.
Bye.